session. Oh yeah, okay, that had to happen. All right, welcome to this information session. We are really delighted to have you here with us today. As Leanne has mentioned, this is a partnership between IAVCA and Investia, and in delivering the financial modeling training session. And I know some of you might be familiar, some of you might not, but for you probably know this is not the first time we are partnering with Investia for such an offering. And the reason behind our partnership is is rooted rather in our shared commitment to empowering professionals in the finance industry. This is in line to IAVCA's one of the IAVCA's key mandate of, building capacity and upskilling of professionals through our training pillar. So this course is going to blend a little bit of theory and practical application, where we aim to provide a comprehensive learning experience that will equip participants with the skills and the knowledge necessary for your financial professional career. So this is a partnership that we are really excited about because it allows us to leverage the expertise of industry leaders. If you've interacted with Stephen, you'd know that he's a subject matter together with the team at Investia. So we are really excited to be partnering with Investia. And we are also looking forward to ensuring that the course covers key concepts and just give an in-depth offering, as well as valuable insights into the real-world workings or applications of financial modeling in your private equity or venture capital career. So whether you are a seasoned finance professional looking to just sharpen your skills, or you are an aspiring analyst recently just gotten into the world of PVC and you're looking to gain a deeper understanding, this is the chance for you to expand your expertise and just stay ahead in today's very dynamic landscape. So we are really excited to be embarking on this journey with you, and look forward to just seeing the impact the training will have on your career journey and growth. In today's session, we invite you to meet the instructors. If you have any questions, this is a chance for you to get your queries addressed. So get ready with all your questions. We will be having a Q&A sessions later on, and as well as also going to provide an overview of the course structure. So allow me to stop there so that I don't get into what Stephen is going to share with us, and just quickly hand it over back to Stephen to get the rest of the session started and take us through the rest of the minutes we have together. So over to you, Stephen. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jacqueline. Really appreciate the kind introduction to the session, and of course the partnership with the EAVCA. As you've mentioned, this has been going on for a number of years, and we're very proud and happy to work with the EAVCA to be able to spread the love of financial modeling that we have. Yesterday was Valentine. Spread the love on financial modeling, because we enjoy doing financial modeling. We work with financial models, but most importantly, we know the role that financial models play in our day-to-day in terms of what we do, in terms of making decisions. And for us, one of our key pillars of why we do what we do is to remove the gamble from complex business decisions, and we believe financial models sit right in the middle of that. So thank you very much for this partnership, and I'll just jump in straight to the session. Just mic check first of all. Can you hear me? Just a thumbs up from a couple of people, just to make sure you can hear me well wherever you're from, that my audio is clear and my visual is also clear. I can see just a few thumbs up from the people who are in the room. Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much. I'll just get started, and I want to make sure that this is a very engaging session. My name is Stephen Gugu. I'm one of the principals at Investia Africa, and we do a number of things, key among them training in financial modeling. We build financial models. We also do advisory work, all the way from capital raising, M&A, and the smaller pieces like valuation, due diligence, and so forth. And so when we are doing any training, we like to bring in, of course, the theoretical aspects, but also we like to bring in the practical aspects that we've learned on a day-to-day basis when we're doing different kinds of assignments. And we hope that that filters into the training. And I would almost imagine that that's part of the reason why the partnership with IAVCA has kept on growing because of the kind of experience we bring in. So for today, what we wanted just to do is just to sort of speak a bit about ourselves, just so that we can establish, why we are the party that's delivering this training, and hopefully convince you to join for the training itself. Then we'll speak a bit about the training itself, so what we have installed, how the training is going to be structured, and so forth. And then after that, we'll sort of like come to just the course offering itself, and close at that point with Q&A. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me at any point, because I want this to be an engaging session. I'm keeping the chat open on the side. I have two screens, so if you see me looking on the side, that's just because I want to make sure that I'm looking at the questions as we're moving on. So just very quickly about Investia, and I think I've mentioned a few things about this. Doesn't have any delay. Okay, brilliant. So we are based in Nairobi, in Kenya. I've mentioned the kind of things we do, and probably I'll just jump onto this next slide, which really summarizes what we do. We do capital raising, M&A. We do a lot of advisory from valuation, due diligence, and so forth. But I think the topic of the day is the financial modeling training that we are discussing. And in terms of financial modeling, we've trained over 1,000 individuals in financial modeling training over the years. We've trained over 60 institutions. And this is where we have an institution that comes to us and we offer the financial modeling training for their team. In those kinds of instances, we also go ahead and customize whatever the institution is looking for. And we've been around for the last 10 years. And so to that extent, we feel quite confident in terms of the offering that we have from a training perspective. And we've also picked a lot of experience during that period, which we are willing then to share as we work through the financial modeling training, if you are going to be joining us for that. In terms of the key value offerings, those are the key value offerings that we have. And I think I've spoken about them again, so I'm not going to spend much more time on that. I'm one of the principals and one of the lead trainers at Investia, and I've carried out quite a number of the trainings that have been mentioned. We have our other business partner, Steve Ogada, who also carries out a number of the trainings that we offer. And he's at the moment in Rwanda offering some financial modeling training to some of our clients. Just by way of credibility, some of the organizations we've done some training work with, all the way from last year and even this year. Those are just some of the organizations we've done training with. And I'm just sort of like scrolling through, but just to establish that we've done this for a bit of time. In terms of why we think our training is a good offering and why you should be joining the sessions that you're going to be having later in the year. Number one is the experience. As I've just mentioned, we are practitioners first, and also we come from a theoretical perspective. And so we're able to share a lot of the nuances that you'd expect. So when you're discussing things like valuation, and that's part of what this course would be discussing, we just don't tell you what the theory says, but we go on to the experience bit in terms of how to value different kinds of organizations which are going through different kinds of transitions here, some of the considerations we need to put into place, some of the things that we've picked out from our experience that are really useful. For instance, one of the things I like telling people is, for those who like DCF, DCF has a lot of challenges, but if you ever to rely on a DCF, before you can finally arrive at your valuation, make sure you get at least a percentage between what your terminal value is going to be compared to the value that you generate in the first 5 years of the organization. And that gives you a sense of what the risk of the valuation looks like, right? This is just some of the things you pick out as you're sort of like doing work with various types of clients. We think there's value for money based on the kind of value that comes up. And so for you who's looking to join either as yourself as an institution, once your team goes through these, we're doing this very practically. We are building financial models. You are going to be working by yourself. We're going to be assisting you through that. And at the end, you're going to get some extra case study that you're going to be building models with. And our hope is that by the time you're done, you've built at least 2 financial models, which really moves you much faster into your journey towards financial modeling than you would have if you sort of like just said to do it by yourself. We use the FAST methodology to financial modeling. Now, the FAST methodology is what IFRS is for accounting, or GAAP, for those guys who use the accounting, the US-based accounting system. And really, that is to say that the methodology we're using is international. Right now, there's an assignment we're involved in, and one of the team members one of the other teams that is being involved in that assignment is based out of the Netherlands. And as so happens, they also use the FAST methodology. And so it's making the review process of the financial model that we are building very easy for the party on that side, and also just giving confidence to the client who's going to be using this financial model finally, that the methodology being used is an international one. So the FAST methodology is one of the key things, and I'll speak about that in the next slide. There's an opportunity for you to get certified. So if you enjoy the course sufficiently and you feel you're ready to go for the certification, you can get certified as a FAST financial modeler. And that means, you do some examinations, the FAST level 1 and FAST level 2 that you can pay for separately, and you're able to then, get certified as a financial modeler. As an organization, that might be useful for you, for the team that comes for this. And we found that for the people who get certified as FAST financial modelers, it means that they're at that point where they can really be able to build a financial model by themselves. So I usually urge people, if you're able to go all the way and get the certification, and then just based on the training, you'll get access to our online content, and that will give you a lifetime access. So you can be able then to go through that over and over, just to make sure that if there's something that you do not understand, you can go back and review it over and over. Just a few words about the FAST methodology. FAST stands for flexible, appropriate, structured, and transparent financial modeling. And it's the whole approach we need to have when you're building a financial model. From where we are seated, models should be built with the user in mind and not the builder in mind. Right? And that basically means that you always need to be thinking about what will make it very easy for the user to interpret the financial model, to use the financial model. And these are some of the things that make the model very easy for a user. Flexibility is the fact that they can be able to change things easily in the financial model. Being appropriate is the whole idea that you built out your assumptions, starting with the key drivers for the financial model, going to, and the ones which are not maybe key drivers, you don't spend as much time on them, but you spend much more time on the key drivers in the financial model. And that's the appropriateness aspect. Then you have the structured aspect, that you have a very good structure, that if someone opens a financial model, if you're using a certain set of colors, they're very clear what this color represents, what another color represents. In this case, if they open a sheet and they compare that sheet to a different sheet, there's a similar kind of structure between the sheets, which help a lot from an interpretation perspective. And transparency is the whole idea that, if you have any assumptions, you've marked them very clearly. If you have any exports, you've marked them very clearly. If you've introduced any variables in the middle of the financial model, you make sure they're very clear, etc. So that then, for someone who's reviewing the financial model, they can always go back and figure out where different things are, and if they need to make any changes, where they can make those changes from. So you can go to the website of FAST, faststandard.org, and you can learn more about that. It's a standard you can download, and you can adopt as an organization as the methodology you use from a financial model perspective. So about the training itself, what we intend to do once we get a good sense of who's joining the training in this case is that we'll carry out a needs assessment. Of course, we have a predetermined content that we put together, but it's just to understand, so like from where you're coming in, what exactly are you looking for? What are some of the challenges you're looking to address? And that helps us a lot, even as we are, doing the live sessions, to make sure that we're addressing some of the key concerns that you have. We'll then re-update the content in this case that will be offered during the sessions. The content will be delivered, and at the end, we'll do a post-program survey just to understand, any areas for improvement, any feedback points that you may have in this case, and that will be the last stage at that point. And in terms of, from a modeling perspective, what we really want to achieve out of the training is, to help better decision making. I think I spoke about that. The whole forecasting aspect is something in which we spend a lot of time just thinking about the future and how to forecast into the future. These, of course, supports in terms of capital raising efforts from a valuation perspective, and we'll be discussing those things. The issue of assisting with risk management is an important one. So we'll spend a bit of time just thinking about FX and how you can incorporate FX in your financial model, foreign currency. And that's because of some of the challenges we've seen with most of the countries, especially between last and this year, where currencies are depreciated significantly. So all those things we'll be able to jump into. So as you probably have seen, this is the flyer that is going around for the training. That's the pricing for the training. It's 6 weeks. It speaks about what you're going to get access to. As I mentioned, you get access to the online financial modeling training platform that we have, learn.investia.com. That's a lifetime access. You'll get 9 hours of direct facilitator time. So we'll have live webinars. where then you can be able to, have Q&As. We'll discuss certain topics which are important from a financial modeling perspective. We'll have specific Q&A sessions. And so this then assumes that you've done a bit of work by yourself. And so then when you come to the live Q&A session, then you have specific questions that you want to ask in this case. And then towards the end, you'll get to build your own financial model, right? We have 3 case studies. You'll select one case study and you can build an extra financial model on top of the one that you're doing the training on. As you're building that case study, we will offer some coaching for you to be able to go through that financial model, which means that if you're building and you have a challenge, you can let us know. We'll get one of our team members to sit with you about 30 minutes, 1 hour session to just walk through some of the challenges and give you a bit of guidance to be able to build the financial model. So we're not only training, but we're also supporting you in terms of being able to build an additional financial model, just to make sure that by the time you're done with the 6 weeks, and if you're following step by step how the program is moving, you get yourself to a point where you're ready to build financial models going forward. There's the possibility of getting fast certified. I think we spoke about this, but this will be an add-on that you can then pick if you want to get fast certified. And then there's a bi-weekly Q&A session. Again, just to mention, if you're interested in the course, feel free to reach out to bianca@iafca.org. And from that perspective, then you can get enrolled. Of course, if you're an EAVCA member, you get a discount, a 20% discount. So please take advantage of the opportunity at the moment. From a cost structure perspective, I think I spoke about it. It's cohort based. So we're going to have one cohort that we run over the next 6 weeks, and it's going to be a session that then is done in a hybrid format. Hybrid in the sense you have some online content to go through by yourself, but then you also have some live sessions. And as I mentioned towards the end, you have some additional coaching as you're building your financial model. So the online material will be through learn.investia.com, which is a platform that we've created for financial modeling. But the live sessions then will be through Zoom webinars that you'll be having. And then the Q&A sessions will be through Zoom webinars on top of that. And then finally, the coaching will be done virtually. So to say, unless you're based in Nairobi and you want to pay us a visit, we are based at Methodist Ministry Center. However, we've just had a quick chat the last couple of minutes with Jacqueline. And what we were saying is, if we get a big enough cohort that wants to do this physically, we could decide to have 2 cohorts where we do one that is physical over a 3-day period where they get to build, but then after that they go virtually in terms of being able to build the additional financial model, the case study financial model, and the coaching. But they get 3 days for the training itself. And then we have another cohort that then would be running these based on the approach I'm speaking about, which is a hybrid approach. So it really just depends, but you'll get a questionnaire at the end shared by Leanne. And using that questionnaire, we'll find out whether we have a big enough crowd that would like to come for a 3-day session that is morning till evening over 3 days, where they get to build a financial model, and then they continue with the other bits virtually, or the other team that will be doing this on hybrid structure. So just keeping on going, and I'll repeat myself here because I've already spoken about some of these things. You have the self-study online content. You have the Q&A sessions, which are bi-weekly, every 2 weeks. You have online lectures, which are also bi-weekly in this case. So the webinars which are bi-weekly in this case. So then the idea is that you're going through all these different things. And by the end, then you're also building the financial model that we've just mentioned. So as you can see here, you're building the financial model that is a case study for the course, but you're also building your own case study based on the case studies that we've mentioned to you. So the case studies that we have that you can select from to build from, these are the 3 ones. We have a healthcare case study, we have a fintech case study, and you have an education case study. This is a school, a hospital, and a fintech in this case. So you could select one of these and you can build an additional financial model. The course itself is based on one of the listed companies in the stock exchange, which is BAT. We call it MAT in this case. And it just speaks about a manufacturing company that is looking then to expand, but needs some capital and needs to be valued for that purpose. So from that perspective, then you're doing a valuation for that course. In terms of the platform itself, it's learn.investia.com. And I'm probably going to stop here for just 1 or 2 minutes for Leanne just to maybe just quickly just jump onto the platform just to show what it is, and then I'll continue. So Leanne, I'm going to hand this over back to you, and you can quickly just say 1 or 2 things about the platform before I come back and just go through the course outline and then we can open it up to Q&As.
Okay. So share my screen.
And again, remember to share audio if you need to do any audio stuff.
Mm.
And as Leanne does that, if you have any questions so far, please feel free to put your hand up and we can respond to those questions. But I think Leanne is ready already, so let me just leave this with her.
Okay, so you go to learn.investia.com and I will share that link on the chat box. And so what you get here is, this is what you will see as your interface. Because I've already registered. But for you, you'll have to go to register. And then you will need to fill in your username. It could be Naomi, for argument's sake, and then enter your password over there. And then you'll have to fill in this form to collect your information. And then after that, you create an account. So after you create an account, you will log in. Just log in. When you log in, this is the interface that you'll have. This is the navigation box. On your left, you'll see my courses, and then you have FM 100. FM 100 is free, and anybody can access the course material here. It's an introduction course to fast financial modeling and what financial modeling is. As you can see, the topics are introduction to fast, setting up Excel, fast financial modeling, operating revenue, and then yeah, so that's what you'll get. And then you also have the course outline, so, and some handouts to just for that particular course. But what you will be looking for when you sign up for this course is FM 101, which is corporate finance. So on your navigation side, you will see January 2017. Just click on that, and then it will bring you a drop-down menu with FM 101, sorry, and which is the corporate finance and valuation course. And then it has the entire course material there. So for example, if you're studying introduction to fast, you just started the course. When you click there, this is what you find. You'll find a course outline and a discussion forum. And then you will also have the different materials that you require for that particular topic. And then if you want to move on to the next topic, you just go back. And then going to operating revenue. Again, you'll have the course outline and then the different course material. So if you click on historical sales growth rate, for example, there should be a video there just taking you through that particular topic. And then, like you can see, there's a topic in class you'll cover forecasting revenue and sales. And then there are goals as to what you should have learned by the end of this video. And then there's a handout here for you to follow what the lecturer is going to be teaching during that video. So, so all these materials to help you follow what is being taught on screen. Do we have any questions? Okay, I'll assume we don't have. So once you're done, you can just log out like that. Then that will be your interface again. So in case you have any questions, you can just reach out to learn@investor.com or myself, leanne@investor.com. But by then we will be well acquainted. So if you have any challenges with the platform, I will be your support as well. So back to you.
Thanks, Leanne. And I think the reason there's no questions is because you've done it so well. Very soon you're going to be a facilitator in the financial modeling course itself. But just going on this, so of course the session is being recorded. This info session is being recorded, and so to that extent, if you need to, come back to the videos and review anything, you can be able to do that. That's one. And then two, as Leanne mentioned, you can reach out to us. The platform is one that you can access if you need to access that in one point. So I'll just keep going for the time being. But maybe before I move on, are there any questions? I intended for this to be an interactive session, and so far I've been doing a monologue. So just wanted to see if there's any questions, and if there's none, you can just put a thumbs up just to show that you're okay, and I can keep going. Yeah, thanks, Daisy. Okay, Mark says he's okay. Glad to know that you're still there. At times you ask whether there's any questions, or you tell people to put a thumbs up to ensure that you're not speaking to yourself, because you could be speaking to yourself. Okay, cool. I'll keep going. Feel free to stop me at any point. So in terms of the course outline and the course schedule, we would like to start on the 18th of March and finish the sessions by the 26th of March. And so there will be a live introductory class just to start out the financial modeling training. And this will be mostly just speaking about the course itself, checking who's been able to join, the expectations which have been put out, etc, etc. We'll have another session on the 19th of March, which is on data analysis and advanced Excel skills and revenue modeling. So here then, we've realized some of the people who join at times also want to get a bit more from an Excel perspective. And so we have a live session that then speaks a bit more from an Excel perspective on data analysis and advanced Excel skills. Then we start moving then through, we have a session on importance of financial modeling standards. So there we'll delve a bit deeper into the FAST standard and some of the rules of the FAST standard. Of course, part of this is covered in the online course, but we have a live session where we discuss that, and usually we get someone from the FAST standard organization to be a speaker for that session. Then on the 28th of March, we have a Q&A session, and that then assumes you've been working on your financial model, and so you have a few questions that you'd like to ask. And so that's done jointly. So we have a live session where you get to ask any questions that you have. We get to respond to those questions live. If you want to share your screen, during that you can share your screen. We can try to address some of the challenges you're facing. Then we move on to sensitivity and scenario analysis. And here we focus on foreign currency translation. And here the whole idea is just to spend a bit of time discussing FX and how you can use sensitivity and scenario analysis just to affect to make changes in your financial modeling, especially when exchange rates have moved significantly, how you can build different scenarios and so forth. Then we move on towards the valuation session on the 9th of April. And during that time, then we have a live valuation session, just discussing about some of the key aspects from a financial modeling perspective. What we do is that we bring in some speakers from the ecosystem, and we discuss valuation from the practical perspective, where then you can be able to ask any questions and see how that filters into your financial model. We have another Q&A session after that. And then you have dashboards and model review, which is a live session. We'll discuss a bit more about putting together your dashboard. We discuss a bit model reviews. And then moving on, we have a session around updating the financial model with actuals. One of the key things that happens after you've built a financial model is that you might need to then update it with the actuals on a period by period basis. So then we assume you finish the financial model and now you need to incorporate some actuals. So we do that, and then we'll have a live session around that. We have another Q&A session. And then we're expecting that by that time you've been working on your financial model, and so you can be able to submit your financial model. We can organize for a coaching session just in case you have any issues, and we can be able to go through that. So that's how the course schedule looks like. In terms of content, I think this is a bit more of a detailed session in terms of the total number of hours you need. So really what you're saying is, between the first 1 week, you need around 4.6 hours that you'll go through the online content. There's of course the live sessions and so forth. And then, if you're in the second week, you have 7.83 hours of study. 2.8 of that is through the online platform. The rest is as included here. If you go to the third week, you have a bit around 8 hours of study that you have to put in. 2.2 is the online content. So as you can imagine, the sessions are not that, I mean, you do need to put in a certain amount of effort, and you make sure that you get the full value out of it. That's a fourth week. And then you have sort of like the sixth week in this case. So I think we've missed out on week 5, but there's a week 5 and a week 6. But really, you're speaking about spending at least 6 hours per week on these, just to make sure that then it's worthwhile and you're getting as much value out of that. Now, someone may ask, why can't you make it longer and have fewer, and you have what you say, like you spend a bit less time per week, but you found that the pressure helps a lot in terms of making sure that things are ticking along. And the beauty about this online version, if you ask me, is that for the physical sessions, we go 3 days, which is 8 times 3. That's 24 hours. So we go live every single day. And that, of course, that assumes you're not building your online financial model at the same time, your case study that you're supposed to be working on. So that you do at a different time. So the beauty about for me, the 6-week approach is that you get time to, go through the content, build a bit, come back, ask any questions. While the physical sessions are usually like rapid fire. You start and you have to be switched on for the next 3 days. There's people prefer different styles. There's those who prefer the online approach. Certainly, if you're not in the country, the online approach might be better for you. But there's people who actually just prefer that because then they don't have to leave their office for 3 full days to do this. But those people who say, just put me in a class, put me in the deep end for 3 days, and then after 3 days, at least I feel that I'm somewhere and I can be able to move. So based on the questionnaire that will be shared, if you can share with us your feedback, then we can decide whether we'll have 2 sessions which are separate, and then you can attend either of those, or we'll just have these sessions that we have in the course-based financial modeling training. From a trainer's perspective, the lead trainer will be myself and Mohit. Mohit is someone we've been doing work with for a number of years. Very good from an Excel perspective. He's one of our trainers. He's based out of India, but we bring him in for these trainings because we like how he does this. He's built many models using the FAST standard, and he's one of the team members that we collaborate with from a training perspective. Of course, we'll have additional team members that will come in. Our analysts will join in. Other principals will join in for some of the Q&A sessions. So you'll be covered by the entire team from a financial modeling perspective. So I am going to go to the last slide, my second last slide, which is what would be expected from you if you choose to join us for this training. And I hope I have been able to convince you that you should be joining us for this training. The first thing is, of course, you have to go through the online content. I know online learning has its own challenges, but here we are working with you. We are holding your hand. And so we hope that then with that, you'll feel that you're not just doing something by yourself, but you have someone that every week there's an engagement and there's a requirement that you check in. So with that, then we hope that, you'll find that even doing an online training will be just as fruitful as having a physical training. Of course, there's the webinars. Those webinars are really good because we get to bring in industry speakers. And so if you're able to attend those webinars, which are interwoven between the online content and you building your own financial model, that's a requirement, and you'll get to learn a lot from that. There's a Q&A question sessions, invaluable sessions in this case. Even if you don't have any questions, just coming in and listening into what other people have as questions, I think is learning by itself. And just, we tend just to have a debate in terms of financial modeling during those sessions, assuming there's no questions. Then, of course, finish your exercises on time. As I mentioned, there's certain things you need to do on your financial model on a week-by-week basis. That helps a lot so that we can be able to offer support from a coaching perspective as you're then building your financial model and hopefully building your skills during this time. Then you complete your model on time, and then you provide feedback as you're moving along. If something is not working, just let us know, then we try and adjust that. We are all about learning. And so if something is not working for you, just let us know, and then we'll be able to come back and address any concerns that you might have. So I'm seeing there's one question from Val Fraser. What time are the webinars? And Leanne, correct me if I'm wrong, we organize them from 11 to 12, right? In the middle of the day.
Yes.
Yeah. So 11 to 12. There's some that are 11 to 1 o'clock. But what we do is that once you join the session, you'll get a set of calendar invites for all the different sessions, the Q&As and the webinars. The Q&As, we do them on Fridays in the afternoon. Is it 3 to 4, Leanne?
Yes, 3 to 4. 3 to
Yes,
4
3 to
p.m.
4. The Q&As are 3 to 4. In this case, just at the end of the week. Val, I hope that answers your question. And that's the end of my monologue. I'd like to officially open this for Q&A. So if you have any questions, this is your moment. Of course, Leanne is going to be posting a questionnaire. Please just respond to that. It will give us a sense of how to approach the training and to see what the size of the group that might be interested to do these on physically, and then we can see whether that's possible depending on the number that we get for that. Otherwise, the idea is to go for the cohort-based approach. So I am going to pause here and just check if there's any questions from anyone, any clarification or any comments. They don't have to be necessarily a question. Maybe you have a comment about this idea of physical versus the online version, or any other type of comment. Feel free to just either put your hand up and you can speak out, or just put on your video and just go ahead, speak. If you're in a place where your internet is shaky or you're not able to speak directly, feel free to type it to the chat, and we'll pick it out in the chat and address it. Okay. Seems no questions. I feel like I should pick on people, but I'm not going to pick on people today. I know a couple of you on the call. I'll not pick on anyone, but Mark is from Uganda and he's so quiet. Mark, how are you doing? There's no questions from Uganda.
Hi, no questions from Uganda. Happy New Year to you again, and happy Valentine's. No questions from Uganda.
Thanks, Mark. Mark just said happy Valentine's to all of us. Of course, one of the running jokes in the office was some of us in the office are Catholics. And so for that, we're not saying happy Valentine's, we're saying happy Ash Wednesday. Anyway, I don't want to take any more time than I should. If there's no questions, we are going to wrap up on the session. But I'd like to quickly just invite Jacqueline from EAVCA to just say a word, and then after that, we shall wrap up the session. Jacqueline?
Thank you, Stephen. It appears your presentation has answered most of the questions. I think most of the inquiries we've been getting was around the course structure, which you've spoken about, and I believe that's sufficient information for anyone who's looking to join us. So to the rest of the participants, you're welcome to RSVP if you'd wish to join the cohort, RSVP through Bianca. Just a reminder, Stephen had mentioned this before, but yeah, you're welcome to RSVP through Bianca at eavca.org. Our channels of communications are also wide open. So if you have any if you need any additional information beyond this session today, just feel free to reach out to us and we'll be able to assist and respond promptly.
Thank you, Jacqueline.
That's it on my end.
Yeah, and I think we'll share the info session video. Maybe it can be shared also, maybe on the link to it, at least on the socials, just in case someone missed it and they'd like to just go through that. And of course, you can ask any questions after that. Please make sure you respond to the questionnaire from Leanne. But that's it from my side. Leanne, back to you, whether there's something else, and then we can close.